Welcome to Center for Textile Functions. Center for Textile Functions started with the great vision of Shri Amrish Bhai Patel, Chancellor of NMIMS deemed to be university. Center for Textile Functions is the only institute in India started as an integral part of the textile industry. The institute offers high quality education to create maximum employment opportunities. The Center for Textile Functions aims to produce the best engineers in textile technology. Our graduated students are making their bright future in various textile companies. Apart from studies, our institute motivates and supports students to participate in various arts and sports competition, social and cultural activities for overall development. Join us to make bright career as a textile technocrat.
Very good morning, everyone.
Mr. Surjit, good morning. I am Piyush Chandarana from RSWM.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Very good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Kulkarni is also with me, and Mr. Mercy is also with me. I think Kulkarni, you can introduce yourself to Surjit.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Marshi, sir. Marshi Vyas, sir. And I think Kulkarni, sir, is also.
Kulkarni.
Fine, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
After I think a span of 10 years, we are talking
From,
together.
we are from industry,
We are from industry,
Yes,
but
sir.
we have to learn so many things from you people.
No, no, sir. Actually, the innovations and all these things are happen in industry level, and that we will teach to our students so that they can perform well in industry.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Let this type of
Let's see.
interaction
Let
is
this type of
really,
interaction is really,
Yes, sir.
really
We
good.
will
really good.
try to do this kind of activities on regular basis, sir.
Basu has also joined. Basu, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Yeah,
Good morning, sir.
good morning, everyone.
Today, unfortunately, Mr. Surjit Mahadev was not there.
Yes, sir. Yesterday he said he has some technical emergency in plant.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. And Basu is there, so definitely he will give more idea about technical side. He is very strong technical person in our RSWM for the yarn and fabric side.
Yes, sir. Sir, Basu sir is once upon a time my boss. I am working under him in Mafatlal for a few days.
Governor was.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Naveen, once
Thank you,
again
sir.
for
Thank
our
you.
second program in this series. Thank
Yeah,
you very
I-
much to you.
it's a really a good initiative, sir, from your side, and definitely, some new things will come, and students and all faculties will get more exposure to the industry and the better knowledge. That's for sure.
Sure. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yeah. I'm here.
Thank you, sir.
I
Uh,
request Mr. Sujit to start with the program because there are, I feel, about 80 participants.
Good morning to all. I, Sujit Gulhane, Assistant Professor, Center for Textile Functions, feel privileged to host the inaugural ceremony of Second Management Development Program on Better Industrial Practices for Improved Productivity, various yarns for denim fabrics, organized by SVKM's NMIMS MPSTME Center for Textile Functions, Shirpur. We are honored to have with us Chairman of the program, respected Dr. Akshay Malhotra, Director NMIMS Shirpur, respected Dr. Arup Rakshit, Associate Dean, Center for Textile Functions, the eminent speakers from leading textile industries, Mr. Piyush Chandrana, Chief Operating Officer, RSWM Limited, Knits Division, Modi, Rajasthan, Mr. Subhashish Basu, Senior General Manager, Technical, LNJ Denim, Bhilwara, Rajasthan, Mr. Fanindraj Kulkarni, Senior Manager Spinning, RSWM Limited, LNJ Denim, Modi, Rajasthan, Mr. Z.A. Sayyed, General Manager Marketing, Yarn Division, Siaram Silk Mills Limited, Mumbai. Various distinguished guests, Mr. Naveen Agrawal, Vice President AT Enterprises Limited, Business Head, Fabric Forming Division, Textile Engineering Group. On behalf of Center for Textile Functions, I extend heartiest welcome to all dignitaries, participants, colleagues, and my dear students in the Management Development Program. Denim fabrics have gained immense popularity in recent time. It is worn by almost all people regardless of their gender, age, or profession. To satisfy customer expectations, various developments are occurred in the denim fabric manufacturing. One of the most important aspects is the development in various yarns used in denim fabric, on which eminent industry speakers will share their valuable knowledge with us in today's MDP program. The expert sessions are scheduled from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., followed by concluding session, participants' feedback, and vote of thanks. So I request all to be with us in the program. Now, I would like to request Lord Associate Dean Sir for inaugural address. Arup Rakshit Sir.
Very good morning to all of you, distinguished speakers, Director of Shepur Campus, Dr. Malhotra, Akshay Malhotra ji, and all the participants, those who have joined for this program. Once again, I welcome you all to this MDP. Many of you might be aware of this, that we have started this particular program series from the last month, October 2021. The first program was on airjet looms, and the second program is another very important area of end users is the denim fabric. If we look at the content or the purpose of this program is like this, the denim market is very big, and there are a large number of manufacturers across the country. Nearly, if we look at nearly around 45 to 50 companies are producing denim in India. Major manufacturers, premium manufacturers are around 5 to 7, and medium to small manufacturers are the rest of the people. Denim is a very specialized product. It is now from wearable to the fashion. Once upon a time, this was a workman's wear. Now it has become a fashion item. If we look at the market segment, nearly around 2000 CR denim product is being exported from India in over 88 countries. So this particular segment of textile industry or the textile manufacturing is of utmost importance. The point to be noted is that when we make specialized product, we also require to understand the input material, which also of a special variety, the processes or the technology which is involved in this manufacturing is also specialized. So therefore, it is a specialized segment in which we want to address. The bigger companies can have a wonderful technical support. At the same time, the medium to small segment of the companies require some kind of knowledge base or expansion of the knowledge on which they are practicing to do their value additions or maybe expansion of different other kinds of products. So with these kind of views in mind, we have organized this particular program where I'm elated to say that, okay, the big RSWM person, sir, once again, welcome to you, who is participating in this program to share their experience that how these products are being made, technically how they are being fit to the customer's requirement and satisfaction. So all these parameters we are going to listen over the 4 presentations throughout the day. I welcome all of you once again. We have large number of participants thanks to the participants' interest, which comprises major manufacturers of denim, industry houses, cooperative sector, students by and large, and all stakeholders of the textile industry. We have received a response of nearly 280 registrations till date, out of which by now it is around 100 people, those who are on board. So I expect that the program will be of great success, and all of you should enrich. And it is an interactive session. All the speakers has been attuned to large number of questions to address any confusion, any understanding. If you want to get, please be interactive during our sessions. With this, I welcome all the participants to this particular program. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir, for encouraging all our participants with your valuable words. Now, I would like to invite the most distinguished personality, respected Akshay Malhotra, sir, to to chairman's address.
Thank you, and very good morning to all of you. Firstly, to all the students who are attending the session, Dr. Akshay, his faculty, our distinguished speakers, and so many guests that we have from the industry. A very good morning to all of you. So the first remark I would like to make is, I was going through the inauguration address, the comments that were there in the beginning. And before that, I was just going through the speaker list that we have for today's session. And I was amazed to see we have vice presidents of organizations, we have general managers, we have COOs showing up right at early 10:30 in the morning. And I say this from my own experience. जब भी कोई सुबह को time मांगता है, at least I am very reluctant because you have a day planned in front of you and you want, So that shows, that tells me how seriously all of you are taking this endeavor. So a special welcome to all our friends from industry. Obviously, this would not be possible without you, but for the fact that this is a day-long session and here you are bright and early, 10:30 in the morning, this shows your commitment towards education, towards society. Thank you. I would like to begin by saying, I'm not from the textile sector, so that's a disclaimer. And Dr. Rakshit and so many other experts, I was very attentively listening to what Dr. Rakshit was saying. But no, I'm not from the textile sector. So my remarks obviously are going to be general in nature. But today's session, if you noted, right when we were introducing it, we said it is the second of the series. That makes it very clear this is not a one-off event. This MDP is actually not a one-off event. So I just wanted to share my views on where does this event actually stand in the larger context of things. What are we trying to do over here? All of you have taken time early in the morning. You have made a commitment to spend the entire day with us. That's a big deal. Why are we doing this? So if we take it right down to first principles, to the very basics, I hope all of you will agree with me. A campus, an educational institute, does not exist just within four walls, right? It is job of a campus, it is job of an educational institute to make a positive impact, to make a positive difference in the society around it. Right? That's the very basic. That's the sole purpose for our existence. And there are many ways in which we can do that. One of them would be generation of knowledge. We are not just a standalone institute, we are part of a university, so we have to generate knowledge also. Not just disseminate knowledge, but also generate knowledge, creator of knowledge. And I'm very glad to inform all of you, all our participants from outside, that of all our institutes, all of our centers, CTF has the most amount of research output, most number of faculty publications per faculty. They actually average over 3 papers per faculty, and they have actually done that in the last year. So my hats off to them. So clearly we are doing well on that front. When it comes to contributing to society, I'm glad to say Dr. Rakshit and his team have again taken the lead, and just from from the next semester onwards, we are going to be introducing a course on ESG and our responsibility in that arena. All of my friends from industry will agree how important that is. The point that I want to stress it and why we have come over here is connection with industry. It's a very common thing for people to say, यार industry ready engineers नहीं आ रहे, industry ready trainees नहीं आ रहे. Industry भी हाथ खड़े होके बड़े simply यार स्कूल से वो quality नहीं आ रही colleges से, भूल जाते हैं कि हम भी उसी colleges का part थे एक time पे. आप लोग कहाँ से? Right? So what is the larger picture? And I would say every college claims we have an excellent connect with industry, but I'm sorry, most of us, for us, connect with industry becomes placements or internship. I hope you'll agree with me, that's a very transactional relationship. That's a very business-like relationship. Some of us go a step forward and we have guest lectures, inputs to curriculum, again, that's the very least we can do. So I'm very glad that CTF has taken, under Dr. Rakshit's leadership, has taken the initiative, has taken the lead, even on this front. Just last week, we signed an MOU with one of the organizations where we said the deliverables that we have to do are give them all the technical inputs for running of industries, what's happening latest in the field. At the same time, I believe just next month, now December is almost here, we have to provide training to budding entrepreneurships. That's the kind of relationship with industry that we have. Finally, the aim is that we have to be the birthplace of industry. An educational institute has to become the birthplace of industry. It has to be one with industry. And that's why today's session, these MDPs are very, very important in that aspect. So we are giving a platform, right? Which is, let's face it, is easier for us to do than for industry itself, right? Where we have general managers, we have vice presidents, we have CEOs, we have such a distinguished lineup, we have our own faculty. Talking to people from industry, talking to people from field. And we promise you, this is not going to be a one-off, this is going to be a monthly affair, and that's why I wanted to, give you the larger overview of things, because I have a request to all our friends from industry, all the distinguished gentlemen over here, कि आपसे हम मिलते रहेंगे. This is not going to be a one-off thing. Our expectations are going to be a lot more. Our deliverables are also going to be a lot more. Finally, I would just like to end by saying why this is just the beginning. Because very soon, our school CTF is going to be shifting in industry. In the Shirpur Textile Industry Park, the school is going to be shifting right in the industry. I don't know, I asked Dr. Rakshit once, sir, how many textile schools in India can claim that they are situated right in industry? नहीं, हम industry के लिए guest industry tour पे नहीं लेके जाते. आप हमारे यहाँ आते हो, classes attend करते हैं, आप industry में आते हो. So industry visits are not a big deal, right? You learn on the machines in industry right there, and then that's part of your daily curriculum. So I was very curious, not being from the field. I asked Dr. Rakshit, I said, sir, ऐसे कितने school होंगे who can make such a claim? He said, sir, no one. On that note, I declare this session open with the assurance to all of you, you can expect great things from us in the future. Why? Because ये वैसी जगह है जहाँ पे ये वैसी फील्ड है जहाँ पे सुबह 10:30 भी इंडस्ट्री के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट्स एंड सीईओज आते हैं इनॉग्रेशन सेरेमनी के लिए. So that's the confidence I have in my team. That's the confidence I have in Dr. Rakshit. That's the confidence I have in our industry friends. We will make this happen. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day ahead and a very, very knowledge sharing. I was listening to our friends from industry in the beginning, and चीजें ऐसे ही बढ़ती है. They said we have a lot to learn from you. Sir, it is your humble nature that makes you say that you have a lot to learn from us. But हाँ, जिस दिन हम लोगों ने आते और हमने सीखना बंद कर दिया, that will be the end of us. So in that spirit, let's declare this session open and move right to business. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. We are always motivated by your inspiring words to achieve even greater heights. Rakshit sir, shall we start for the first session?
Yeah, we can switch to our technical session now.
Yes.
I'd like to, taking a note from Dr. Madhav's statement, I would like to just, I thought that it should be nice to share with you. Once upon a time, why I'm saying once upon a time, because the factory is not functioning so well now. There is a place in Haryana called Bhiwani, and there is an institution called Technological Institute of Textiles. Many of our industry friends, those who are in this belt of Bhilwara, Rajasthan, Delhi, up to Bhopal and this northern region of this country, they are alumnus or alumni of this TIT Bhiwani. I mean, it was a wonderful college in the 80s and 90s, and the Bhiwani Textile Mills, BTM in short, was adjacent to this particular institution. So to the best of my knowledge, this was the only institution which has an attachment to the industry, which is absolutely close by. They used to carry out their testing and other this thing in the same commercial testing house of the factory, which was inside the institute. So there was a thin line of separation that okay, that is the textile mill and this is the textile institute. It was a lovely establishment, I believe, in India and one of its kind. This is all the examples are all the participants to note. This was there. And secondly, as sir has rightly said, very shortly when we will be establishing our entire institute close to the industry's campus. Let me share with that, Shirpur has a wonderful textile park, which has lots of, factories entailing or covering entire value chain of the textile production, right from spinning to weaving to processing and garmenting, all these four, except for the synthetic fibers, everything is there in this particular park. And the students are at the moment also getting exposed as far as the workshops and the other things are concerned, parameters, demonstration of technical issues, all these things on board or beside the actual work process, or you can say the shop floor. So this is one of the most important part of the USP for our students to get quickly absorbed by the factory or the industry, and they also grow very nicely because of their huge exposure to the production process right from the college days, so school days. So this is something I wanted to share to cap up with what our director has wanted to express. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Before proceeding towards the technical session, I would like to request Mr. Naveen Agarwal, sir, to say a few words.
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much. It's always my pleasure that NMIMS or CTF they consider me as a part of their active team, and I also find luckily all the time to attend your session, at least for the inauguration session or whatever it is. So this is the best part, and today's session definitely will be quite useful because we have most eminent speakers. Mr. Chandarana, I know him from decades. Mahadev Sapkal, he's a classmate to me. We studied together, we worked together in diploma degree. So I have 100% confidence on Mahadev and Chandarana ji. Then Mr. Syed, he has spent his life in making the good yarn for denim. I think nobody knows better than him how to sell the denim yarn, and all other eminent speakers. So students and faculties, I think today will be the great day to enhance the knowledge which people wear a lot, denim, jeans. People talk a lot about denim or jeans. People know there is a huge capacity in India, but they will tell you the fine aspect of the denim industry. So thanks once again, and hopefully this session will be most interactive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words and time to spare with us. Now I request Piyush Chandrana, sir. Before proceeding towards the technical session, I would like to introduce our experts. Mr. Piyush Chandrana, Chief Operating Officer, RSWM Limited. Sir is graduated in Mechanical Engineering and did MBA. Sir had a rich experience in textile manufacturing of 29 years. From 2016, Sir is associated with RSWM Limited as a Chief Operating Officer and started to look after LNJ Denim plant and Mayur Suitings plant. Mayur Suiting is known for polyester viscose and blended fabrics. As RSWM is going to a knit business, Piyush sir is also engaged with 400 metric ton per month capacity knitting plant. Prior to RSWM, sir was associated with Soma Textiles Limited, Ingersoll Rand, Birla Century, and Anil Starch. Sir has extensive experience in manufacturing denim fabrics. Piyush sir is accompanied by Mr. Fanindraj Kulkarni, Senior Manager Spinning Production, RSWM Limited, LNJ Denim, Modi, Rajasthan. Kulkarni sir did textile engineering from Ichalkaranji in 1999. Sir is having experience of 22 years in spinning of various fibers like cotton, polyester cotton blend, modal, bamboo, soya, slub, and lycra yarn. Before joining LNJ Denim, Sir was associated with Gokak Mills, Wellspun India Limited, Anjar, and Nandan Denims Limited. I would like to invite Mr. Piyush Chandrana sir and Mr. Fanindraj Kulkarni sir to start expert session.
Surjit, thank you very much for inviting us in this program. It was our pleasure to interact with, education society, because in the industry we are facing lot of issues of uh, uh, making a fabric, making yarn. So if we are connected with the industry, I mean to say, sorry, education society, we will update our knowledge, and we can implement into the our day-to-day life. I will also thank you to Mr. Akshay, Mr. Rakshit, Mr. Naveen. I just want to add one thing with Akshay ji. He said, I am not from textile, but when you are wearing a fabric, you are from textile. So everybody is from textile. In fact, I have done a mechanical, but my major experience is with textile. From RSWM, we are myself, Mr. Kulkarni, and Mr. Basu is joining to give a one small presentation. It is not presentation because it's an interaction sessions. Because it's not that we will teach you something or we will present some technical part, because you all are expert. Your students are also very expert. You are teaching them lot. We are just interacting. We'll also get something. Today morning, when I was discussing with my boss that I have to present to the one education society, then he told me, then why you are not inviting me? I said, you are a boss. Why you have to come in that? He said, no, I am a student. I said, okay, I am sending you the link. So he may be also joining shortly. He said, in a full life, you must be a student, so that you will gain more knowledge, and definitely you will go ahead. So yes, I think I will start my presentations with that in mind. That one more thing I just want to forget. Mr. Arup has told that, in fact, Mr. Akshay has told that there must be education must be near to the industry. In fact, I was thinking since long that when doctor is coming out with the from the college, he is coming from the hospital only, because medical is in a hospital only. Medical college is a hospital only. Whereas in our case, when I have studied, in fact, at that time there is a no interaction, to be very honestly, with the industry. When we are going for the training in the industry, we are just enjoying. We are not learning anything, but we start learning actual engineering from when we are starting my industrial I mean the experience. So but at that time we cannot reconnect our education with the industrial requirement. But when we are in education and we start the connecting with all the theories and all the education with our day-to-day job in the industry, it will make experts. So definitely this type of interactions will definitely not only improve the knowledge to the students, it will definitely improve our knowledge also with so many peoples who are coming from various education fields and industry also. So Mr. Surjit, can I start, and can I start to sharing my small presentations?
Yes, sir, definitely. Please, sir.
Yeah, now is it okay to all of you? Surjit,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So today subject what I am presenting is the compact ring spun yarn used in a stretch denim fabric, and it is myself, Piyush Chandarana. I am from RSWM, working as a CEO, Modi Baswada, and Mr. Mahadev is was joining, but unfortunately is engaged with other activity. So Mr. Kulkarni is with me. He is from spinning plant. Uh, Already introduction was all given, so I'm not going with any more introduction. Let us go with the technical session and with my presentations. So in my presentation, I have covered about RSWM, our managing director message, denim history and indigo global and indigo denim market, yarn production in India, LNJ denim spinning about, and then compact spinning, comparative study of combed and compact yarn, conclusion and references from where I have made these presentations. So I will give you here
LNJ Bhilwara Group
small
is a
video.
dynamic organization
Surjit, are you able to listen?
with Indian
Yes, sir. It is
Yes, sir.
clear.
with just one textile mill in 1961. It diversified to various industry verticals and now stands as a multi-product and multi-service industry conglomerate worth $1 billion. It is one of the premier corporations in India, leading in textiles, graphite electrodes, energy storage solutions, power generation, skill development, consulting, and IT-enabled services. RSWM Limited, its flagship company, is a pioneer of innovation in yarns and denim fabrics and one of India's largest producers and exporters of polyester viscose blended yarns. RSWM has created continuous success resulting from innovative excellence. It boasts of a remarkable manufacturing infrastructure with a product line consisting eco-friendly grade, dyed and melange yarn, and denim fabrics. The company has been deeply focused on sustainability, employing research and development to churn out eco-friendly and natural textiles. This is supported by captive power generation through green energy initiatives like rooftop solar power plants and manufacturing units. With zero liquid discharge, RSWM is using advanced IT-enabled services at all levels. Today, it can create any shade and blend imaginable for its customers across 78 plus countries.
I think video is audible, right? To Surjit?
Yes, sir. It is. Yes, sir. It is, sir.
So I just want to show you some chairman and managing director message. It's very short. I will just read punchline. As a team, we are persistently exploring way to further improve our top line growth and business profitability. So he is Mr. Riju Junjunwala. He is chairman and managing director of our company, for which I have given a small video presentations. I'm going further about my company. It is one of the largest manufacturing and export of synthetic and blend spun yarn from India. We have capacity of 1,039,500 ton per annum yarn capacity of production, 275 lakhs meter fabric productions. We have total 10 manufacturing facility and total our strength, manpower strength is 15,344 and we are 67 percentage our market is in India and 33 percentage in outside the India. And outside India, if you see the 21 percentage from the Africa, Southeast and East Asia, 10 percentage Europe, and balance is other. In fact, we have shown here our stock market value also. In fact, it's a commercial part, so I'm not going with that. Our goal is definitely focus on value additions and enhance the liquidity. Business approach in both in a yarn business and fabric business is also given here. I'm not going much on that. About the fabric vertical, we have 172 looms, 275 lakhs per meter productions, 1 and 110 output in lakhs meter. Revenue is 445 crore per annum for the fabric, and the contribution on total revenue is 19. In fact, to be very more going in a depth, we have also invented mask in a last year, which is giving a 98.7 percentage basically against the N95. It's a testing basically, and still we are manufacturing for the corona. It was excellent product, and it was acceptable by the many people in India. In fact, we have distributed a lot of masks as a social services from RSWM. Let me go with the denim history because I have read so many questions before starting these sessions, and participant is talking about what is denim. You please let me know, let us know. So I have covered here. The story of jeans began in 19th century simultaneously in two European cities, Nimes in France, where the fabric itself was created, so-called Serge de Nimes, which lead denim. Somebody was asking why the name denim was there. So it is basically in France, it's called Serge de Nimes. That's why the last word was combined and it became a denim. Then again, somebody was asking that why the blue jeans was there. So Genoa in Italy, where the color comes from, called France blue de jeans, which lead to express the blue jeans. The fabric and color come together to become the jeans denim. So it's about small thing for the denim history and indigo. Denim is a strong cotton fabric made using quills weave, which create a subtle diagonal ribs pattern. The cotton quill fabric is warp facing and means that the warp thread goes under two or more warp thread, and the warp yarn are more prominent on the right side. Basically, if you see in a denim, the warp is only dyed, the weft is a normal yarn without dyeing, and the warp is coming up upper the jeans, and it will give a twin look, which really shows us the fashion. Given indigo popularity for the denim, the indigo color is a principal source of almost magical apparel of denim. The dyes impart a brilliant blue hue to fabric. If you see, somebody has also asked a question that why it is a blue. Basically, it's the dyes which gives a brilliant blue hue when fabric is when the warp is dyeing during dyeing. In fact, denim is coming now with a various color also. It's not only the blue, because when you are doing a sulfur dye, we have various variety of sulfur color which we can do it, but the blue color with the indigo is more popular. If you do a analysis, then other color is coming under only 10% in a demand. Balance all are in a blue color denim jeans. Indigo is a unique in availability to impart the surface color due to partial penetration in a color cotton fiber. When the cotton yarn dyed with the indigo in untwisted, it compact unit run on the compact machine, because it's a choking issue of the spinning air suction. So definitely, when this neat view fashion came into the market, it's I think 5 years back it was started, and the compact use in a denim was increased because of 20s count. You can see in a warp we have 20s count, and weft is 8 by 170 denier. So this is a major our sorts which Grenade, then Grenade, then Cane, Cruise, all are our names basically, and it's a neat view. And majority we are selling into the domestic market. Somebody was asking that which count was used in a denim in a compact. Therefore, I have put this slide also. and I have explained where we can use it. Now I am coming with the compact spinning idea, and uh, it's basically in ITMA in 99 in Paris. There is a three textile manufacturing basically put this one. One is a Ritter from the Switzerland, Susan Zinser of the Germany. Ritter is basically given a name of compact attachment. Basically, this attachment they have made for the ring spinning, and they have given COM4. Susan has given, I think, the Elite, and Zinser is basically FX. They have given their own compact attachment name. And the compact spinning has been recognized as a revolution in the ring spinning. It is based on the air suction system and perforated surface mounted in the fiber flow line. Basically, it's definitely a revolution because the previously it is only a ring frame, and before 5 years, because it in ITMA it was presented in 99, but I think 5 to 7 years back it was in more in demand, and in India it was everybody's come up with I think not 5 to 8 years, but 10 years back it was started in India, and people are demanding compact yarn because of so many advantage with the compact yarn. I will show you in the next slide. Major difference between normal ring spinning and compact spinning is elimination of the spinning triangle. That also I will explain. Next slide. Before that, I would like to hear some of the advantage of the compact yarn. It will give a better smoothness on yarn also, as well as less hairiness on the fabric also. Higher luster. When you see the fabric, the luster is coming very good. Abrasion fastness better by 40 to 50%. Yes, hairiness lower by 20 to 30% is measured with the use of the Worcester edge tester. Tenacity and elongation at the break higher by 8 to 15% and smaller mass irregularity. Greater brilliancy of the color and intensive dye penetrations. And no singeing before printing is required. Normal fabric, we can also avoid the singeing, but in a denim we have to do a singeing because of, even though if we use a compact yarn, because of denim is not directly we can stitch and wear it, because it's require a wash down. So in a wash down effect, even though if you use the compact yarn, we need to do a singeing. Here, if you can see the compact yarn and ring yarn, one photograph I have given, it is a microscopic view. If you can see the compact yarn, it is you can see the hairiness, and you can see the ring yarn, normal ring yarn, the hairiness is higher. So this photograph itself, you can see the advantages, whatever listed here. Here you can see the photograph of the spinning triangle comparison. In normal yarn, when the yarn coming after drafting from the top, I mean to say top roller, you can see the triangle here. And from the compact yarn, after drafting and the compact attachment, if it is coming out from that, you can see here the photograph where the triangle is very minimum. Even here in a spinning, you can see A and B. The some of the the yarn is coming out from the normal ring yarn, whereas here it is very clean, and it is giving a very good the quality of yarn after compact attachment. I have just explained about I just want to explain about the three manufacturing, basically Suzanne, then Zinsser, and then the other third one. So this technology, they are basically technology is the same, like they have patented their technology, but it's basically a sucking of the fibers after drafting in this area by perforated roll, so that the small fiber will come out from drafted sliver, and it will give a very unique surface on the yarn. I am not going with the each technology wise, because it is available easily on the net and everything. Ritter is with K44 from Switzerland. But here they have given very good diagram. So if you can see here, the first is a perforated drum is there. Second is a suction. This tube is there, and in a perforated this roller, they have fitted this suction tube. So when the yarn is coming from, the drafted yarn is coming from here, it will comes here, and there is a suction of the small fibers, and it will goes inside this tube. And then there is a bottom roller also. This is a normal top roller, nip roller, air guide element is there. 6 number is the air guide element, which is coming in between the two rollers. So when the yarn is coming from there, in a normal case, it will goes without this element, which is called compact element. So the drafted yarn is coming directly from here to the travels and ring. But in a compact unit, it is a additional attachment was put here, and the yarn will come from this unit. The only disadvantage is when the small fiber is choke up this tube is the major headache. So you need continuous maintenance, and if one spindle this tube is chopped, then definitely in a one particular bobbin you will not get the compact impact. So to run this unit, you have to very much vigilant. The many people are coming up with the new technology so that this choking will we can avoid. But yes, it's a big issue when you are doing a coarser count. The hairiness is more. So basically, the compact yarn is prefer more than 20s. In fact, when we are running a 16, we are facing a lot of issue of choking because of the higher hairiness. That is what I was conveying, that for the denim, when we are talking about the denim with the compact yarn, we cannot use the coarser count. We have to use
The rotor blocks opening roll. If you speed the increases of the opening roll, so it will carry the more fibers into the your rotors, and which will increase the operating efficiency of the opening roller. And also the high rotor deposition of the fiber orientation also inside the tube can cause a higher end breaks if you keep more than your optimum level of the setting. Second, a rotor is a main component of the rotor opening yarn. So there are a lot of rotor diameter, rotor grooves, and speed are the major factor of yarn parameter and appearance. So you can go increase up to 1,40,000 RPM. Even you can go up down to 90,000 depending on the yarn quality you want actually, and what a type of the mixing you are using. So these are the all combination of factors. You can decide about the rotor diameter and the grooves you have to decide. And naturally, if you go for bigger diameter of the rotor, but if you go for coarser count, then definitely you have to go for bigger diameter of rotor. Like you can see how the rotor diameter varies with the speed range actually. So as you go for bigger diameter, and you definitely have to reduce the rotor RPM. And if you go for coarser count, you have to go for higher diameter of rotor actually. Next, there are different type of rotor groove also. It depends what type of groove selection. It depends because of you due to what type of yarn quality you want to have in your product mix actually. You have T rotor, you have K rotor, you have V and S, everything. But widely popular is EU and the T1, because T gives little bit yarn structure resemble to yarn, because it is having the very less hairiness compared to U shape, and U shape rotor gives more hairy yarn structure in open end section than your T1. So this is the basic two groove we use in the industry, U and T. But normally from working point of view, U is we prefer as far as rope dyeing is concerned, and T is preferred for sheet dye is concerned of the for the working point of view. Next, you can see the navel actually. Navel is very small parts in the open end, but it gives the spinning stability and hairiness and twist, how much it has to be given. So it's basically depends on the specification of open end actually. So different type of navel you can use, and ceramic level normally use, and with the compactness evenness you can put some washers with the navel also for getting the better spinability of the yarn. And I was talking of the piecer. So piecer is basically to when in breaks, you have to put both the sliver and the yarn into the package, and when piecing action starts, package rotates in reverse direction, and piecing machine takes the broken yarn from the package, and it splices with the sliver from the collecting surface of the spinning rotor. And when the yarn joined, then it starts the packing into the normal direction. Basically, these are the parts of the. Now I'll just go through the what are the denim fabrics when we make with the open end yarn. So normally, if you see, if you go for cheaper version of the denim fabric, people goes for open end yarn. Basically, open end yarn is cheaper. It has a very you can take poor mixing. So mixing cost per kg of yarn will be very less, because typically if you see in the yarn cost, around 60 to 70% consists of your mixing. So definitely if you lower down the quality of mixing, definitely your yarn cost will come down. And in addition to that, when you are putting the yarn into the open end, so definitely process cost will also get reduced, so thus leading to your lower yarn cost. That's why the buyers, customers who ask for lower jeans, lower denim garments, they preferably prefers the open end yarns. And based on the cost calculation or their business modules, we offer the open end yarn, denim fabric with open end yarn. Open end denim can be made with anything, jacket, jeans, skirts. Once you made into denim, it can be converted into any type of garments, whether it is trousers or jackets or jeans. Basically, due to your fuzzy appearance, wrapper, because open end structures is a wrapping fibers. So if you see under microscope, you can see there is the difference between ring and open end. So open end yarn structure looks very hairy, and you can see the lot of protruding fibers or yarn parts coming on the surface. So that gives a very rugged look jeans. And as the denim is worn in after wash, so after wash it takes a very different and different type of look, which is liked by customers depending on their fashion trend actually. Open end normally it is the open end your foreign countries, those who work in the agriculture field, they wear a very heavy jeans, and basically those jeans are typically made of open end yarn. So denim concept mainly come from those cowboy generation, actually working class actually. So that working class, suppose if you go to factory or in our RSWM, our uniform is of denim trousers. So in denim trouser, we always prefer a little bit heavier version so that due to the rough and tough, it can withstand all the abrasions while working on the machines or working on the soft floor. So it is a basically open end people prefer for the working class. It is rough and tough appearance than fashion option. If you go for fashion, then it will have the very lighter version. Then you'll go for ring yarn with your tencel model fashionable product, soft feeling like this. So denim is mainly in our factory for our in Indian fashion trade. If you see, our denim with open end goes to mainly the various Latin America, Bangladesh, Dubai. These are the countries we export, and in the range of 12 to 14.5 ounces actually. In denim, in open end also you can make slab yarns, but if you go for very subtle slab, means very small type rainy like slab effect in the fabrics, you have to go for ring yarn. But if you want to have the very bold and the longer slab appearance in the fabrics, you have to go for open end slabs actually. Now there are physical properties. If you see the physical properties of the open end yarn with respect to ring yarn, there is a lot of difference actually. Tensile, if you talk about the fabric strength in terms of tensile and tear, due to the entanglement of the fibers and less parallelization of the fiber, your breaking point is less compared to ring. If you make the denim fabric made of open end yarn, your fabric thickness will be little higher or bulkier normal than your ring, because ring structure is cylindrical structure and it has a very less protecting fibers compared to open end. So it will be very ring fabric will be very thin. Thin means at the same level of your count range. It will completely look very thinner than the bulkier in the open end. Abrasion is definitely better in case of open end. That's why I just explained working class in the factory and on the soft floor and the agriculture field, the cowboys and the farmers, they prefer in the foreign country the um, denim fabric made of open ends. Color fastness, it's very poor. Actually, if you see, denim is called faded glory. What does it faded glory means? Faded glory means once you stitch into the garments and you wash it, if it doesn't fade, then it is not a denim. So it is bound to fade, or it must be faded to give some certain uh, look in the after wash. But in case of open end, if the fastness is very poor compared to ring yarn, because in open end the structure is not very cylindrical or not parallelisation it doesn't happen in the open end compared to ring yarn. So penetration is less compared to ring yarn. So if you see the denim fabrics made of in the same ounce category and count compared to ring, there will be hell and heaven difference between two fabric. You can easily, as a technologist or being in that field, we can easily compare. So these fabrics made of, this garment is made of open end, this fabric is made of ring end. And if you open the structure of the yarn, also you can come to know. So that is a cylindrical and the wrapping fabric. It will not unravel in case of your open end actually. Yeah. So these are the different. Now I want to see this say something about the post wash effect of on denim fabric, because if you want to see the denim fabric, it is worn after washing. So when we sell the fabrics, it goes to garment manufacturers. They stitch it and they wash it. And there are a lot of washing variations that they make in the denim fabrics. But if you go for open Indian, you will not have that many variations as compared to ring yarn. But open yarn, it will have always your appearance will be like orange peel. If you have seen some orange and if you see the surface on the of the orange, you can see some subtle like crumbling appearance. It is called a orange peel appearance or marbliness. Means it will not have a very flat surface. It will have a very marbly appearance on the surface. So in case of opponent, you will get that type of appearance in the after wash. And in open also, you will have the raw look, the late fastness, slabby appearance because of yarn structure, and very aesthetic, dull. Dull, you can see the dull in case of opening yarn, it will have the very bright and lustrous fabrics, but in case of open it will have a very dull look actually. Your hand feel will be little bit more harsher than ring one. It will have the more bulkier fuzzy look. Fuzzy look means hazy look, and clarity of the tool direction will be less compared to ring yarn. Definitely that can be improved upon by increasing the TM of the in the open yarn, but still it has got an optimal level. But last one is the at the garment stage, you can certain customer prefer certain look of the garments. So if you give him, suppose you are supplying the fabrics with denim, open and yarn to any particular customer, and he is making garment of particular wash, so he'll always prefer the fabric should fall in that range. But if you change the fabric, suppose without informing the customer that this is the fabric we are supplying, but they will definitely come to know when they will wash the fabric at garment stage, because the high-low effect which you get in open yarn, you definitely will not get it in garment made of ring yarn. So be careful, never try to deceive the customers, because it is a very basic things. Anybody can catch wherever you can do some manipulations. Next, from industry point of view, I want to touch the how industry faces problem qualities issues in open and yarn, because there may be a lot of theories which can be the issues on the your warping, dyeing, and looms. But if you go to software you'll have different type of problems at top software. So these are the problems which we are facing day in day out, and we keep on working on these. And we have to maintain a lot of maintenance schedule intact. We have to keep process control tight. We have to counsel worker, because labor in textile is a very labor intensive. We have to counsel the worker. You have to monitor, review, but still you will face this problem now and when. So these are the problem like coarse portions, whether it is warp or weft, slabby, warp or weft, moire. It's a very typical defects in the open end, dirty yarn, and working related issues. When you go, yarn will be fed into dyeing machines or warping or LCB on the loom set. You will get a lot of defects like comb breaks, red cut or bent wig. Package changes also. Package changes means if there is your issues in rotor and rotor variations, some few rotors are malfunctioning, and it is not giving very good your quality parameter. When when the package will go to looms, and it will definitely give the variation from one package to one package. And definitely you can see on the fabric surface on the at the gray stage only on the loom itself. So there is a package change. And next one is thin and thick papes. Actually, this is a very major issue. So sometimes due to the malfunctioning rotor, you can have thicker portion in the yarn, and it runs longer range. Maybe 100 meter, maybe 1000 meter. So typically these defects is a very dangerous, because you will come to know only at the inspection stage when you dye it, in weave it, and then when you are going to inspect the fabric, you see after finished it is getting very evident on the fabric surface. So these are the common defects which are the important as far as denim is concerned. Uh, as far as piecing, this is your warp and issue. You can see piecing quality of the open-end yarn is very important. It gives a very bad appearance on the fabric once it is finished, and when you wash the garment, it can damage your panels, and definitely it will lead your rejection in the garment stage actually. So setting and synchronizing up piecer is a very important thing. There are a lot of settings which needs to be taken care while fixing the count on when count change at the takes place on the machine. So there is like filling factor, initial take up, roller speed, additional fit percent. So these are the technical settings which you need to take care of while on the machines. And then once you see the appearance board after count change, if you show that okay, these are the appearance which will not affect the fabric appearance after inspection, machine is started actually. Next, you can see this coarse swept. Coarse swept and coarse sweat, it may be warp, it may be wet, but coarse portion is very dangerous in case of when you work as a webbed yarn, and the same with the slubby one. So these are the things which gives you the 4-pointer. There are defects in the denim fabrics, saying minor points and 4 points as per international grading system. If you go for minor points, it will be 1 point, 2 point, or 3 point. 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, and more than 9 inch is called 4 point. But these are the defects. The coarse swept and slubby, it majorly comes into 3 point and 4 point. So you have to take care of on the machines like short thick setting, draw film, cyber piecing, opening roller, whether teeth is damaged or not, to avoid this type of issues on the machines. You have to do a preventive actions. You have to keep the clearance setting at optimum level, and the draw frame level also you have to do some pacing setting. And like what I explained, you have to check the piecing appearance on the loom by making appearance board and checking how many what is the count of that particular piecing portions, and how many piecing is visible when you run on the looms for a particular 1 meter 2 meter of fabric. So these are the things, and definitely your maintenance makes a very major role in deciding about the coarse sweat and slubby. If you don't make do maintenance on time, if you delay or due to production pressure, definitely your yarn quality will deteriorate, and it will give you the fabric rejection at the inspection. Next is your moire effect. This is, you can see the moire. This is a typically effect which is easily visible on the your loom stage only and the back side of the fabric, because denim is a warp phase fabric, and when you put the weight from the back side of the fabric on the gray stage, you can see the moire effect actually. So this is the periodical faults actually in the open end, and very we spent a lot of nights on these issues actually, because you have to check each and every individual rotors, and you have to do trial on the gray fabric with a small portion of the yarn. And once you set the okay, this is the fabric, this is the yarn, then you can start the machines. Due to this periodicity, even small variation in yarn thickness are visible in the open end, and due to the damage course also, it maybe have issues due to the flap, lot of flap, and because I have explained mixing is very poor. Then normally taken poor in open end, so definitely lot of trash in the your mixing in the fiber you're feeding. Though you're removing 10 to 12% in the carding and the blow room, but still it will have a very minute particles and trash which will go still up to yarn stage and accumulate in the rotor groups. In it can give such defects in the yarn. So cleaning is a very important thing as far as mold defect is concerned. You have to check the quartz condition of your take-up rollers, and you have to optimize the setting as per your rotor circumference and what is the density of the faults you are getting actually. Next, comb breaks. These are the mainly working related issues. So it can have cut cones, bend peaks, package change panda in the subsequent process, like mainly warping and the looms. So hairiness value in open end, actually hairiness is preferred than your ring yarn, because if you have to run open end yarn in open rope dyes, you need to have hairiness. So if you have the very low hairiness, definitely it will give the this type of issues. Even in if your open end yarn gets older, then like navel or other parts, if get damaged, then there will be rotor to rotor variation, and it will give you the hairiness index variation. So definitely you will have such type of problems in subsequent process and the loom itself. In typical 5 to 12 processor count, we keep hairiness around 6 to 7.5. So there must be some hairiness on the rotor yarn. On the loom, actually, there is term like air friendliness index is one term which defines the how the your weft yarn is yarn friendly, is friendly with the air when you are running yarn on the air jet spinning, air jet weaving. To air friendliness for index, you need to have hairiness value at least from 6 to 7.5. If you have the lower hairiness like 4 to 5, it will definitely give you the poor working on the looms. It will give the higher filling stoppage of the loom state. Even it will have the working issue in your dyeing process also, especially if it is rope dyeing. So, and in weaving also you may face bend peak issues. Like so, we have to adjust the navel type, rotor type. Lot of permutation combinations must be there. So keep these defects under control. So now I just explain the last part. I was going through some portions of your questionnaire. Some sustainable denim actually. What is sustainable denim? Now every big brands like Levi's, Zara, Inditex, H&M, they are saying that we want to go make our product 100% sustainable by 2020, 2025, 2030. Like our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has told by 2030 we'll have all the green energies. It's basically sustainable denim concept is like that way actually. Means you will make the denim will have the use of recycled fiber in the spinning manufacturing process. Recycled fiber means it may be PCW, it may be PIW. PCW means post consumer waste. Post consumer waste means when you sell the fabric and you make the garments, and garment is purchased by the end users like us, like people, then after wearing many times, maybe in foreign it is 3 times, 4 times, they discard the garments. When those discarded garments is cut into several small pieces and made into small denim fabrics, small pieces, so that is called wiper. So they're cost post consumer waste. When customer asks for PCW product, means post consumer product, we have to purchase this type of wiper from outside. They are nominated agency, and we fed into our garmenting system. We have any recycle plant is also there. So in the recycle plant, we fed this type of small pieces of garments, denim into the machines. We have this post of machines there, and from the wiper from fabrics we get the fiber, and this fiber we put into the blow room. Means the initial stages of the spinning and manufacturing, and the yarn which is made by this way, it is called PCW yarn, and it percentage of the your wiper depends on the customer requirement. Customer wants 5%, when we have to put 5% in the wiper board. Customer wants 15%, customer wants 20%, 30%. Now the question is whether you can have the 100% PCW fiber. Very difficult, because you have to see from working point of view. when you go for this uh, PCW yarn, definitely the fiber length, the strength of the fiber will be very, very less compared to your virgin one. So you will have lot of working issue in the all the process, every process. So you have to choose the what is the optimum mix of the uh, uh, PCW you need to take in the garment in the yarn, so that your spinning process and subsequent manufacturing process doesn't have any issue in making the good quality of fabric, because you have to take care of your fresh packing also. Suppose you are making 100-meter fabric and you should have at least 90 to 95% fresh fabric. If you make 100% of fabric and you getting only 50 or 60 meter only, 60%, 50% fresh packing, then your cost, there will be huge cost implication, and you may not be able to sustain in this cutthroat stage of the competition actually. So from that point of view, we have to look what percentage of PCW fiber you should use. And there is another concept is PIW, post industrial waste, that is pre-consumer waste, because this is like the yarn hard waste you get when after yarn manufacturing, then after your dyeing and weaving, undyed. So that if you put into garnetting and you get the in the blow room directly, then if you can make the yarn, so that will be your PIW. So now customers also asking for PIW when certain optimum percentage of PCW gives working issue, they go for PIW, because PIW is better than your PCW, because PIW you are only fitting the yarn into the blown stage actually. Next, sustainable denim also is not only the recycle, it is also how your chemicals or your what type of chemicals you are using, because in the chemical also there is a lot of carcinogenic chemicals, very human, you can skin effect also there. Your ETP load should be less, because if you use a very poor type of quality of yarn which are not MRSL or RSL, means manufacturer restricted substance list or restricted substance list, those who are not approved by the all JDSC, like zero discharge chemical substance website, the agency. So these are the your chemicals should have the ingredients which are not which are not bad, or which are not carcinogenic to the human health actually, and also to the workforce actually. So use always environmental chemicals also. Second one, how sustainable means how energy conservative your machine is, how you are using power, steam, air, because if you consume more steam, more air, so you will be depleting your natural resources like fossil, the coal. So if you go for renewable energies, it is always prefers, and you will be more sustainable. Same with the less water consumption, because how much you should have water recycle plant, ATP plant, and you should recycle around 90 to 95% your processed water. So all the big brands, they come for audits, and they do the audit at each and every point, how much, what is your water, what is the consumption, everything. So there is big now work is going on. If you say a lot of company now have chief sustainable officer is there. So these are the very big concept, as our world is going very rough and tough changes like climate change. Every top leaders are discussing on these things. Next one, best social practices. Best social practices, what is this? Because how where you're treating your own person means your workers. Suppose you are making very high class of denim fabric at the but you are treating your persons, you are treating your people, means the workers, very in bad way. They are not being paid very good salary. They are they are being forced to work in very inhuman conditions, unhygienic condition, and not healthy foods they are getting at canteen. So these are the best social practices. So there are a lot of social audits also go on when you make the sustainable denims. So this is one point, and another is effluent treatment. So JLD, definitely, if you want to have the sustainable lending, you should have your own ETP plant, and this ETP should be JLD, liquid zero liquid discharge concept should work. Means you should have zero discharge. Means whatever the extra water you discharge, that should be evaporated through MEE. That is a part of your ATP systems. And the last one is how the ring spinning it can be workable to the different setting of the your parts like traveler, yarn tension between the pond drifting roller nibs and yarn package. But lower productivity, and I explained, high production cost will definitely there in case of ring spinning. And open end we have, because in open end we can use in the mixing itself, and due to the setting of the carding and the robust structure of the open end, we can have the PCW yarn in the open end section rather than make in the ring spin. So whenever we talk about PCW fabric or PIW fabric, we always prefer open end rather than ring spin. In ring spin, it will be very challenging job for as far as your productivity and working is concerned actually. So if you go for always recycle, you should be in the open end. We prefer. That's why. And in the open end, we have to do the lot of settings if you want to the PCW recycle fabric in the open end section. By the anyway high twistings, TM, you need to little bit increase the TM without increasing your power consumption. So that's why you can use the open end yarn in the PCW, the open end yarn. So that's why the slides from our side. Sujit, I think.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
now question, if you have, you can have questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing your experience and technical details and sparing your valuable time with us. You have covered almost all points related to the open-end yarn manufacturing. Along with that, you have covered some questions which we have received from the participants. Basically, the question related to the sustainable denim. Sir, we have one more question from our Professor Kolte, sir. He want to know more about the quality problems which will be faced by the industry while consuming PCW and PIW. What are the challenges, quality challenges while consuming PCW and PIW?
Yeah, it's a very good questions actually. Normally, customer want for higher percentage of PCW. So that time we always put a lot of do's and don'ts for the customers. Like if you go for PCW, higher amount of PCW, definitely you will be using recycled fibers. And recycled fibers will there will be always issues of contaminations. Okay. So because when we are getting the fiber wiper from outside, we don't know what is the actually composition of that particular denim is there. So it will have the polyester, it will have the lycra, it will have the any type of difference. So contamination is one of the prime issues when you make the PCW garments, PCW fabrics. That is the one thing. So we always mention to the customer that when you go for higher number of PCW, 5% up to 10, 15%, it should not have a problem. But if you go for more than 15%, like 20, 30, 40%, the contamination will be the very recurring issues in the PCW. And the next one is when you will go for PCW fabric and you over dye at the finishing, the PCW, the contamination problem increases to many fold. So you have to specially inform the customer that if you take the PCW and if you do the over dye, you take the over dye fabric, the contamination issue is very much the part of your PCW. So you have to consider it as a part of your fabric defect and you have to mend at the garment stage. So that is the one thing. Next thing, if you go for PCW, your color fuzziness will be very poor at the dyeing stage because of your the fiber compositions, the dye penetration in the dyeing stage, it will be very less. So it will have to have lot of chemical dose more. So that's why when we make the PCW fabric, our purchase, our selling price increases. Because cost of production increases. You have to put lot of wetting agent, lot of sequestrating agent. You have to reduce the speed of your dyeing to have the more penetration inside the yarn. So these are the second one, and third one is working, because you have to increase your TM of the yarn, but there is always the optimum level of the TM. You can't have the 5 or 6, 7 or 6.1 TM. So there will be optimum. So above optimum, you can't go behind the TM higher increase. So that it will have the effect on your dyeing and weaving. So it will give the lower working efficiency. To mitigate those issues, we have to use the proportion of the virgin, very good quality of the virgin cotton. Suppose you are taking 28.5 length of fabric, 22 to GPT, 23 GPT fiber. If you go for PCW, you go for 30 mm length, and you go for 24 GPT fiber, 3.8 to 4 mic fiber. So that point of view, your missing cotton will increase. So these are the challenges, but to remove those challenges, you have to work on your process in such this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Kulte, actually, if you are asking for a recycle this plant, actually it is always beneficial. If you go for normal open end or especially open end yarn, open end manufacturing unit, you should have recycle plant, because in every factory, spinning factory, recycle plant is now part of your spinning lineup actually. You should always have the recycle plant as far as your normal manufacturing process is concerned, because in the open end you will not definitely go for 100% virgin cotton. You will have ratio maybe 40, like in our case we go for 40, 50, 60, 80%. If it is 80 or 20%, at least you have to put your own the waste actually, but that recycle must be done using in an optimum way and with the minimum very damaging effect on your working process. So as far as recycle plant, it is must. And when you go for PCW, there must be recycle plant at the what we call it garnetting section, garnetting division. So it is a very this is separate than your internal waste you recycle. This is the fact. This is section where you need to have the machinery setup where you can convert the denim fabric into the small fibers. So it has got also different setup of machine also there. In India, there are a lot of agencies there, but nowadays we people you import it from the China at the cheaper cost. But for fabric PCW, you have to go for the garnetting section, and for your PAW, you have to go for your own recycle plant. Actually, I think I should. You are happy with the answers?
Basu, I have one question to you.
Yes, sir. Believe.
Yeah, Basu, regarding this open end, this is again a innovative idea type question. So it's maybe everybody can think. Can we not make a open end stretch yarn?
Actually,
technology is definitely a constraint. But can we not think for that?
Basically, PG, what happens in the open end due to the this technology limitation, because open end is an open end spinning actually. The in ring frame it is if you want to make the stretch yarn, you have to grip lycra at some point and you have to fade into the yarn. But in open end, it is an open portion. because there is no gripping in the your open end technology. So when you put the lycra, so it will not be straightened and it will go into the rotor groove. So there is no straight gripping mechanism in the open end. So that's why we can't make the lycra in the open end technology, but we can make it in spinning, because spinning in the drafting, in the back of the drafting, you are feeding the spandex and you are positively driven through the drafting roller and up to the spindle. So that is the basic difference. So in open end, but as of now, technologically there has been thinking definitely there, but due to the technical constraints, it is not possible.
Yeah, Basu, I was, yeah, you are right. In fact, I know very well. Only thing is that I was reading one article in which they are mentioning that they are feeding the, lycra yarn into rotor from the rotor center, and they are trying to make the open end yarn with lycra. I will say it's very difficult. Stretch yarn in
Yeah,
open.
maybe it is at the very nascent stage. मतलब आपका क्या हो, मतलब research, maybe the research level, but I don't know how much it will be commercially viable or get into commercial aspects actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Even some trial was taken to, to reduce the slub length in open end.
Acha. Okay.
Yeah, so it is going on abroad. They are taking some trial for modifying the rotors to
Okay.
reduce the length of slub, because the main constraint of open end slub yarn is the slub length.
Yeah, slab length actually, open end you can go for, but for smaller slab you have to go for the ring one. Actually.
Yeah. So anyway, nice, Basu.
Yeah.
Can I have one question?
Yeah, definitely.
Good afternoon. I am Professor Satish. Sir, there are ring denium and rotor denium. So most of the rotor denium, which was been established by big conglomerates like Arving, they closed the rotor machines and they shifted to ring spinnings. And now the trend is same, because if you look at the present population of rotor spinning and ring spinning, that is 50 plus millions of ring spinning spindles, whereas a few lakhs of rotor spinning. Now, if you look at the deniums, now that is more going towards the rotor, but now what happens, people are shifting towards the ring deniums only. Probably the sir has asked the question because of that stretchable jeans where you require a lycra. That would be the reason, but any other reasons where there is a shifting? This is my first question. My second question is, you know that legendary technology like Amitabh Bachchan, ring spinning technology, which exists in the spinning world right from 1830. But around 8 to 10 technologies came into exist. And Slappos and other people are trying to modify these rotors, and even ERZ is there. Many people are doing new technologies. But there is no technology which could replace this low productive technology like that is ring spinning. What do you see that is any future technology which could replace this ring spinning, sir? Being a practical person.
Yeah. The first question, as per ring, actually, basically, why the people go for ring denim, because I explained in my slides. If you go for open end, the appearance on the fabrics and appearance of garment and the options you get at the garment washing, it is not like what we get in the ring spinning. In the ring spinnings, the effect of your fabric surface will be very clarity will be there, luster will be there. There will be more clarity of the twin line. You can have a very moderate stiff fabrics, that it will not be very limpy or it will not be very stiff in the ring, and it will not be a very bulky. It will not be very hazy fabric like in the open end. And the main thing is your fastness property in ring is very quite excellent than your open end yarn. That's why at the garment stage you will have a very lot of options in the garment stage. Many type of recipe you can utilize in ring yarn than in the open end yarn. And in open end, in ring yarn, you can have very if you make the slubby fabric, so the slabs will not get so much abrated when we wash more, because in denim garment are washed and stitched when a garment is washed with the stone, so there is lot of abrasion on the your garment. If it is open-end, then the structure will normally come out and it will have the very whitish nature on the appearance. But when in case of denim, in case of ring denim, due to the helical structure and the more your cylindrical structure, the yarn will not get open and it will consist of the very fine twill direction after wash. So that is the difference between the ring and open end, and that's why people are go for ring only. But from ring also, for the weft you need to have a little bit open end also, because weft normally people give weft as in open end only. So that is the basic reason, I think.
Great, sir. Very good information.
And
Yes,
for this your this spinning this technology, there are a lot of water spinning technology, the air vortex technology, but I think ring spinning is now still is a very evergreen hero, like compared to other. So and the people are going very lot of technological operation is on the ring only, not in other spinning as well. And people have accepted it and it is widely accepted. That's why it has grown popularity. Its popularity is much more than others.
But sir, it's a low productive technology. That's a concern.
Low productive, but that's why how you can improve your technology aspects of the machine, like your doffing system. System must be there. Your like winding function,